So now let's take a look at the standard price issue for labor, which is, it's still mainly just a buildup like it was for direct material, but the items you're building up are often a little bit different. And in fact, they're related to some of the other things we've seen here. So we have the standard price for direct labor is, in Department 1, we have $10.50 per hour. In Department 1. And what else do we have here? 265. Fringe benefits are 25%. So we actually then have to add an additional 25% to get the total. One way to do that, there are a couple different ways. Multiply it by, 1.25 or 125%. And compute the actual total, or you can compute the increment by itself. So fringe benefits would be $2.62.5, or if you multiply it out directly, it's 13.125. And I write out the full ID here, the Department 1 issue, because in this problem, you have Department 1 and Department 2. You don't want to get these confused because you're going to have a lot of side computations you have to deal with. So here are two pieces, $13.125 per direct labor hour standard price, and 1.1429 direct labor hours in Department 1 per 5-gallon container. So we're going to add that to the standard cost card. Which, because of our fantastic expertise and coolness, we have pre-done before we started horsing around with the numbers. Okay, and of course now I can't remember what they were, even though I just spun that board around. Let's see, 1.14. Let's see which one I did this one. 1.1429. Yeah. And over here the dollars were 13.125. When I multiply that out into the standard cost card, I'm going to get $15. Which seems a bit odd. Let me check that, I reviewed this before the problem, but of course, all of a sudden having $15 looks a little bit odd. 1.1429 times 13.125 equals 15.0005. So that would be, the desired disclosure in the exam, 4 decimal places. So notice what we've done. I've tried to model your approach to this. I'm not going to take the time, because we're in a lecture sequence. You can stop and replay. So actually having you do it on your own, not as important maybe in this mode of delivery as it would be in a face-to-face class. Stop now, though, and go back and do the B's, direct material B, and Department 2 on your own. Okay. Then once you've done that, turn to it, get a whole blank sheet of paper and do the whole problem on your own, starting with the title, and then see if you can rough out all the pieces I did before hitting the analysis. Like how much can you get on this paper before really getting into the scary stuff where you might, get yourself distracted. It will make the whole thing a lot more compact and a lot easier for you to deal with. What we're leaving off here, which you'll see in the solution. So the solution to this problem has the rest of the standard cost card in it, but it's blank because we don't have the data. And that would be down at the bottom, underneath, where you can't quite see here, we have to put the variable and fixed overhead. Almost all standard cost problems have variable and fixed overhead. It's pretty rare just to have plain overhead. Sometimes in school that happens because they're trying to make the problem a little bit easier so you can learn the theory or the structure of how you actually address these. But in most problems in the book and always in real life, you're going to have variable and fixed overhead. And so when you look at the book's answer, they're starting to get you to think of that. So if you're asked to do a standard cost card, put the blank line in for fixed overhead and variable overhead. Okay? Then as we move on, we'll do the next pieces. So that then is the end of what I'm going to do with problem 7.54.